has been spoken about recently that Harry and Meghan have signed a multi-year deal with Netflix. So I'm definitely interested to see the type of content that they will be creating. And of course, the royal couple are stepping away from being a royal couple and they want to earn money outside of the control of the crown, which brings me to the thought of how necessary the crown is. In the 21st century, do we feel like we need the monarchy, or is it time that we followed the rest of our fellow European countries and just let it go?
I think that I have a bit of an unpopular opinion on this. Now, do I think that the royals do anything or contribute to make society better in regards to like my personal life? Not per se. But would I want to get rid of them? No. And the reason why I say no, and I know it's crazy, is just because it's like having a monarchy is like our legacy in Britain. Like, we have the royals. It's our thing. It's such a British thing. And it makes me like, you know, really hold on to, you know, my Britishness. When did I ever say that? My Britishness, but you know. It makes me really hold on to my Britishness, thinking like, oh my gosh, we have a queen and we've got prince and princesses. And I know they don't do anything, but I just like the idea of having that legacy around. And I think, you know, the modern day royals, they're stepping out, they're doing a lot of, you know, community and outreach work. And even though it doesn't directly affect me, they're still helping people. So, I mean, for me, and I know it might be the one to say, to me, they do more good than harm, really, to me. So I wouldn't really want to get rid of them, and that's my opinion. I quite like them.
Anissa, you stand firm in that. You don't say that half-heartedly. You say it wholeheartedly.
I don't have a legacy.
Thank you for being here today.
Exactly.
I don't really mind the royals, to be honest. Like, I'm not really that fussed either way. I think it, like, if I really thought about it, I agree they don't do anything to my daily life, but they do also do things, I think, for the society. So, for example, they say that the royals live off 85 million a year that we give to them from our taxes, 85 million, but they said it works out to like 1.94p, £1.94 per person. So it's not the most amount of money, but they say that they actually bring in 550 million through tourism. So people that come over to see Buckingham Palace and to come and see this and that and whatever. So they are helping the economy in that sense. And I feel like we did a misdeed with what we did with Meghan, because she could have given a face to the new type of royal. This is someone who was mixed race. She was divorced. She wasn't born in the UK. If they really wanted to push forward the monarchy and show that actually we do represent the people, look, we're kind of diverse, they could have done that with Meghan. So I think that they really missed an opportunity there. But I think that, yeah, for me, I'm happy to keep them. I'm really not that fussed.
I don't have any passionate feelings for the royal family on either end of the spectrum.
No way.
Sophia.
No, honestly, no. Luanda, I was sure, I was like, I will eat my hat if Luanda isn't like the French. We need to cut their heads off. Start a revolution. Honestly, I'm so shocked. I'm shocked.
Not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting you to say what you said about cuties, Sophie. I wasn't. Really? Because I thought you was going to be save the children. So we're all full of surprises today.
Yep.
But it's
shaking it up today.
The reason why I'm not like a monarchist or a person that despises them is because in terms of everything that we know about their lives, they just seem so controlled, so restricted, and it seems quite depressing, to be completely honest. And so in light of the fact that the royal family don't have any political power nowadays, it just feels like, to me, there are a lot of members of the royal family that go through more pain than the job is worth. Like, you don't really get to speak your mind or be yourself or love who you love, and there's so many issues involved in that when you do. Like, we all saw what happened. Let's not go there. But you know what I mean. But I think in terms of their contributions to society, I think that we could drastically reduce their income. because the royal family have 3 sources of income, and one of which is the sovereign state.
I was just talking about that. So they get like 85 million in.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that is money that we could be using a lot more communally, because the thing that frustrates me is when we have national tragedies, or when we just have people going about their everyday lives that are struggling, or something that we need to pay for, or like, even not even to bring up Grenfell, but that is something that didn't need to happen. And then when we try to prevent these kind of things, when people go to their councils, they're ignored, or they're told that we don't have the money.
Yeah.
When we do, because we've seen the royal weddings and we see you eating in the palace. So it's like, we see it, you know? And so for me, I feel like I don't want to hear that lie again about how we can't help the masses because we don't have the money, when all of the masses are paying their taxes towards 7 people living in lavish luxury. And I don't even think what
it's actually more than 7 people, so it's not just
I know,
the queen,
but,
and
like,
it's all of them. And I was saying, like, broken down, it's £1.94 per person in the UK that they get of our money.
I know that. So they want to say that to us to make it seem like not a lot. But if it's going to be not a lot, then we can. But Sophie, if we're going to be taking £1, I think it was like £1.24 that I read in the article. If we're going to be taking that amount from every single person in the country, we can be using it for something else. Because, like I said, if we
I
take
don't
this
think
away,
that they would use it for anyone else, Luanda. Let's be honest. The same thing when we said we were going to leave the European Union, and was it Boris's whole thing was like, if we leave, there's 400 million that we could be pumping into the NHS. If that 85 million, if we got rid of the monarchy, that money is still probably not going to go to the people. They're going to find some budget, something else where that money can disappear into. Because I think ideally, and I'm not against you in terms of there is money, but I don't think that we would have any more access to that money if we got rid of the monarchy.
Well, if we did it in a structural way that people were involved who actually cared about this stuff, then it could. But I'm just like, even if we took that away from them, there are still 2 other sources of income. Like, you would still be like richer than the rest of us. You will still be living the life that you want to lead. You will still be protected. But we could put systems in place that help more people than just the people in Buckingham Palace, is my point.
Yeah. But I think they are also helping as well, because if you think about something like the Prince's Trust, which is something I think Prince Charles started, and a lot of people have benefited from that. A lot of actors, a lot of artists. So Idris Elba, he was just like, it was a Princess Trust that paid for him to go on like an acting course or something like that, and enabled him to start making steps into the career he's into now. There's also the games that the Victus Games. That Prince Harry does for ex-soldiers who have lost limbs, and now it's kind of like their Olympics that they have for that. That's something that he started. They also starting to do things with mental health. So they are doing things, and I think definitely the younger royals are trying to do a bit more. Like Kate just had this photo competition where she was highlighting different images from this year, and one of them was from a Black Lives Matter protest. So I think there are little things that they are doing to kind of step up. But I agree with you, Luanda, in that they're so restricted, they're never going to be able to come out and say exactly how they want to support or who they want to support or whatever. So I think it's tough.
I think it's really tough, and I just like I not that I have a particular affinity to any royal, but I just like the idea of us having royals. But when we're putting in, and I'm thinking about the income and how much money goes into them, like now just thinking about it in hindsight, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like we could take that 85 million and use it to try to eradicate homelessness, but instead we're, paying for other people. So when I start to put it in perspective, then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. But then at the same time, I'm with Sophie and saying that, you know what, actually, even if we had that money, would they even use it to do the right thing? I don't know. So for me, I'm like, I would, if somebody suggested that the royals got a pay cut, I'd be all for it. I'd say fair enough if we're redistributing the money throughout the country. But to get rid of them altogether, I'm still at no. Let's keep them. But a pay cut is where I'm at. I'm here for the pay cut because they have no political power. It's not really like they do too much to govern the country. Yeah. But if we cut at least a little bit of the purse strings, you know what I mean? then and
I'm here for the
I'm cutting for the purse strings. There we go.
I'm here for the drastic downsizing. I'm here for the drastic downsizing.
drastic, but little.
Drastic, honey. Cut it by a third. By a third at least.
I think this is the thing, because what do you guys think about it from this angle? Because I read in an article, I think it was like national interest or national history or something, but they were saying how having a monarchy allows the culture to still have this ideology that there are people who are born better than other people. And they're saying this is one of the reasons why they're saying we need to do away with it, because they're like, to say that because of the family that you're fortunate enough to be born into, not counting your intelligence or your qualification, then suddenly you're fit to sit on the throne and to rule people. Now, my issue on that was twofold, because one, I'm just like, I don't think Boris is intelligent or qualified and he rules our country. So it's not just the royals. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think that it still has the ideology that some people are better than others in the country by having royals?
I think it depends on what better means to you, if that makes sense to me. Like, I can't have that ideology if better to me doesn't mean wealth. Does that make sense? So if
that makes sense.
Yeah, so if I was still under the ideology that everything is better with money, then I'd be like, yeah, okay, they're still perpetuating a certain thing that you have to be born special or born in a certain way. For me, when I look at the royals, I don't think that's a better family, because I still feel like they've got all the secrets in the cupboard and all sorts of crazy things going on. I don't feel like this is a happy, functional family, so it doesn't feel better to me. So for me, it doesn't reinforce that ideology, because better doesn't mean wealth to me. So that's what I say.
But there's different layers to it though, Anissa.
Yeah.
So like, for example, if they were to enter into the army, they automatically enter ranks above their peers when they haven't done the work to get there. And there's a lot of things like that. So if you were someone...
I feel like that's more privilege though than better. Like, you've born to a privileged family.
Yeah, hierarchy of privilege.
I feel like
whichever
the
way
words
you want to...
interchangeable for me. I feel like they're different for me. They're not interchangeable for me. Sorry.
No. In what way?
Like better and privileged isn't, because for me, privileged, we can black and white and say objectively this person is privileged, but better is so subjective to the person who beholds the better. Do you know what I mean by that? So I can't say that I'm privileged. So for me, it's privilege that they can do that. Does that make sense? Sorry.
Yeah, no. I think I know.
That makes sense.
I think I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I think for the most part, like the global consensus would be that privilege equates to having better things. You know?
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
But I just think, even like how earlier, Sophie, you were talking about, oh, the royals do this and the charity work and blah blah blah. Like, it is no, but like, it is part of their duty. Like, it is part of the job description. It's not because, like, Kate Middleton didn't wake up one day and was like, I can't wait to post that picture of the Black Lives Matter protest. Like, it is part of your duty as a duchess to be doing this charity work. And I just think, I don't know what kind of lives these people would be leading if they had the freedom of choice to be with who they wanted to be with, and not being with someone who's acceptable, or saying what they want to say and not having to be neutral and literally every political topic. So I think that the reason why I'm not so like angry at the monarchy is because I don't want to live a life like that, I guess.
Yeah. But I guess for me, I think in the charity work that they do, they show the things that they feel are talking points. And that is my opinion. So it's not based on anything. But them picking mental health charities, them picking charities for soldiers who've been injured, photography that speaks to the current state of the world. I know that they don't probably get a lot of say in the amount of things that they do, but I have seen somewhere that they are allowed to kind of pick the charities that they want to focus on. So I'm glad that they're picking charities that are actually speaking to various needs, because they could have been picking charities that only benefit their friends who are making millions and millions and millions, but they're choosing to bring light to issues that I feel are kind of being experienced by people who haven't just been born into privilege.